friends. Today we're going to talk about the planets and how they are going to be affecting you for this upcoming healing and transformative year of 2018. What the skies have in store for you, my earthy Virgo friends, this year revolves a lot around health, that balance between mental health and physical health. There's going to be quite a lot of highlight on that this year, reminding you of what you put here is what's going to be happening outwardly. And this is a year of working on your inner landscaping the most. You're most focused on reconstructing areas of yourself that have gone through a lot of shifting and new beginnings, especially in last year in 2017, a year that initiated a lot of new beginnings for us. So this is the year where you're really doing a lot of work on that inner self to fix that and heal that. And Jupiter and Scorpio is going to make sure that that happens for you. So let's get right into it, my Virgo friends. Let's talk about money for 2018 for you. What does 2018 have in store for you in terms of finances? Now, what is awesome is that Uranus has been transiting through your house of money since 2010. So this is a long transit that's been going on up in here. Let me tell you what Uranus does. Uranus causes chaos. Uranus causes unexpected things to happen. So since 2010, I can imagine that you have seen quite a number of fluctuations, whether it be good or bad, up and down these cycles in terms of your finances and your money, and maybe even your health too, because the second house also rules a little bit having to do with that physical body, and we know that this year there's a little bit of a connection pulled in with that as well, but mainly with the finances. And as Uranus has been moving through there over the past several years, it's bringing all of these crazy chaotic situations through, but the ultimate goal of what Uranus was doing is to bring you financial freedom. Uranus is the planet of freedom. And in May, not only does it leave that second house of finances for you, and it's done all of it's had to do in there, it's moving into the earthy sign of Taurus. Taurus is the sign that naturally rules the second house in the zodiac, the house of money. So what's awesome is that you have this planet moving into the stable, earthy sign of Taurus, which is mainly focused on money anyway. And as it moves into that sign over the next 7 years, it's going to bring a lot more stability in terms of finances for you. Now it's created that window of opportunity for you to have greater financial freedom. And now over the next several years, you're going to be able to really achieve that, especially starting in May. You're going to see a big shift in that come May. So yay for that, because man, Uranus, I tell you what, it can bring some crazy things. And I'm sure it probably has for you. Just know the universe is working with you there. So let's move on to love for you, my friends. You know, when I said earlier about how Jupiter and Scorpio is going to heal some things for you, one of the main things it's working on this year is healing your ability to communicate the things that are in your mind, communicate the things that you need, communicate the things that you want. And that is going to be most prominent in your personal relationships. Jupiter, as it goes through Scorpio, it hasn't been there since 2005. So when it goes through Scorpio, what happens is this planet of luck, this planet of opportunity, this planet Jupiter that loves to expand us beyond the areas that we limit ourselves in, when it moves into the sign of Scorpio, it wants to bring some transformation that's ultimately going to heal us on all these different levels. And it's most concerned about how you communicate. Maybe you keep to yourself too much, and this is a time frame where Jupiter's going to push you out of that shell that you have so that you can verbalize what it is you want, verbalize what it is you need to yourself, to other people. And this is one of those years where I said it's about inner landscape, because you're going within a lot to find out what that really truly is. 2017 was showing you quite a bit, but this is the year it really, really comes to the forefront. And as it does so, Jupiter and Scorpio, as it goes through that sign until November of this year, it is going to bring a lot of healing and transformation in your personal relationships. So that's something that's wonderful to look forward to in this year, as that transit goes on. In the process, though, Scorpio brings up a lot of the darkest aspects. So there may be issues that come up with the power struggles, that give and take in the relationships, where you readily give your power away when you should have more of it, or where you try to control things where you shouldn't. The universe makes it known to you, and it really started to in October. October 10th is when Jupiter moved into Scorpio of this past year. And I'm sure you're getting a lot of signs from the universe on where those scales need to be balanced in these relationships. That's exactly what this year is going to be bringing in terms of that. Now, moving on to the next thing we have is just your overall happiness, because this ties into it as well. We have Saturn going through a 30-year cycle right now. It finally left the sign of Sagittarius just before Christmas, and now it's moved into its home sign of Capricorn, and it hasn't been there for 30 years. It hasn't been there since like 1988. And when Saturn comes home to its home sign of Capricorn, it brings stability on whatever house it touches in your chart. For you, my friends, this is the area of greater happiness. This is the area of children. This is the area of romance. This is the area of anything that just brings you overall joy. The fifth house represents happiness, and that's exactly where Saturn is going to be making its stable impact, stabilizing impact on for your sign, for your sun sign. Of course, in your personal chart, it can be very different too, and that's why it's always great to get an astrology reading, which I can dig into, and we'll go into that one a little bit later. But for y'all in the Virgo realm, this is where the biggest impacts are going to be at. So you will find over the next 2.5, 3 years, as Saturn goes through Capricorn, you're going to have additional responsibilities when it comes to your children. Maybe that means another baby's on the way. Maybe that means that your children now are getting at an age where they are going to need you to be more involved in sports, or running them here and there, or homework, or things that are going to need more of your parental role is going to have to come out more so in this coming year. More responsibilities. You're more aware of them with your children. But it's also a time where Saturn going through your fifth house of romance, you would think, well, that sounds like a gigantic wet blanket right there in your house of happiness. Like, oh, great, I've got the planet of restriction all up in my house of fun. But it isn't. What it's doing is it's trying to get you to become realistic about your love life. What is it that you want to see shift and change? Where do you want to see stability in those areas? And that's what you're going to really see over the next couple of years as it tours that sign. Where Saturn has been making an impact for you over the past 3 years since 2014 is in your house of home and family. So you may have moved. You may have done a lot of remodeling to your home. There may have been a lot of additional responsibility that you had taken on for your family as a whole. And now here it goes moving into, it said, okay, I've stabilized that family unit of yours. Saturn's done it work to make sure that the foundation of your family is good and strong, and now it's ready to move on to the next area, which is children, and just making sure that you're happy and being realistic about it with yourself. Remember, that's part of this inner landscaping you're doing this year, Virgo, to understand what it is you do want moving forward, what new beginnings you need. And in astrology, new beginnings are represented by the eclipses that happen every year. We have them in February and we have them in August every year. But this year we got a little bit of a shakeup and a difference. So the eclipses are important. But no matter what it is, these eclipses bring us new beginnings in areas that we need them the most. But in our chart where these eclipses happen indicate where those new beginnings are going to be happening the most for you. In the world of Virgo, this isn't your personal chart, my friend. This is just Virgos in general. But for you, where these eclipses and new beginnings are going to be happening are in your 11th house of friends. I see a lot of shifting and changing coming as a result of that. And especially because what we have happening at these eclipses this year is that we have a rare one happening in Cancer in July, actually. Usually they happen in August, but this one for some reason is towards the beginning part, mid part of July. Its main focus is to dig deep, to do healing in the areas of where our childhood has touched us. These can be good ways or bad ways, right? So for you, what this is doing is digging in. There's new beginnings that are coming through as you reconnect with old friends from your childhood, reestablish those bonds, making them stronger, nurturing those, strengthening those bonds, because that's what Cancer does, reconnecting on a lot of different levels, and bringing new beginnings as a result with these wonderful friends that you have around you. But it's also a time of healing some childhood wounds that may have happened as well in those areas too, that may be creating some sort of rift between you and someone that you care about. The eclipses are bringing some great things with that. Back to that inner landscaping, huh? Let's get back to that inner landscaping I keep talking about. What we have in astrology is something that's called the North Node and the South Node. They're calculated points between the sun and the moon. And in astrology, the sun represents our outer self and our ego, who we are. The moon represents our inner self, our subconscious self, and who we are on the inside. So you got outer self and inner self, right? Two extremely important components of astrology. And the North Node and the South Node are points that are calculated in between the two. The North Node represents what our soul is here to do moving forward in this lifetime. It is our soul's purpose. Whereas the South Node represents our karmic past, what we've done previously and we're trying to move away from. So this year, your nodal axis focus is going to be on that 6th house and 12th house, the house of the subconscious mind and the house of the physical body. So there's going to be a lot of shifting and going inside and doing that shifting and changing here to affect how you operate in a health-wise. My friend Virgo, you are ruled by Mercury. You think all the time. You think, you analyze, you nitpick, you pull it apart. You are the perfectionist of our zodiac. You are the best at analyzing anything. I give you that. But you can overanalyze things to the point where it causes you illness. Where, you ask? Oh, psychic astrologer, I know it's in your stomach, Virgo. I know these things because Virgo rules the digestive system. If you are having immense issues there, do you have ulcers there? Do you have IBS? Do you have issues where you are constantly having these stomach aches and acid reflux at night? There's a reason, because you're overthinking things. You're overthinking things. And this is the year that really comes into focus to see, what am I thinking here and how is it directly impacting my health? How does mental health affect my physical life? Big things are going to be working on that. But the good thing is that the nodes are pushing you away from old habits, right? It's pushing you away from that South Node, and it's pushing you into the North Node of where your soul is supposed to be now, kind of letting some of those things go. So that is pretty much everything that's happening for my Virgos out there this year. Let's focus on the birthdays here and see what big connections are happening for certain birth dates this year. If your birthday doesn't fall in there, it doesn't mean these things aren't happening for you. You may find that in the things I talk about, there's a little bit to be said in each one of you, because all of our charts are individually different, and you may pick up on parts of these. But if you have a birthday between September 5th and the 23rd, Jupiter out there, that healing force of Jupiter that's trying to bring you luck and opportunities, is going to make great impact with you, with your natal sun. As this happens, this is a major year of that healing and transformation for you. Some big stuff happened last year in terms of new beginnings, new career, new life, new house, new, leaving a relationship, leaving a career of so many years, moving into a house, getting married, whatever it was. This is the year where a lot of healing is going to come for you in the areas that you need for it to do. Another thing to keep in mind, my friend, is that this is the year where we can manifest anything with our mind, right? Just like we talked about how there's going to be a big focus on that. You especially need to make sure that you keep your thoughts at the highest vibration September 5th through the 23rd, people. And even if your birthday is a day or two after this, too, know that there's a strong connection there. Your thoughts are going to create your reality more so than most people in any sign this year. All right, you've got a lot of energy behind you to make things happen. If your birthday is from September 4th to September 9th, so this is a shorter time frame, Neptune out there, the planet of dreams, is going to be making a pretty tough connection to you this year. When Neptune does that, you want to be on the lookout for certain things, because Neptune on its shadow side can be a bit of a deceiver. It can make you think something is what it isn't. It looks good at first and then it isn't. So you got to be a little extra cautious with certain things behind the scenes. And the way to do that is to tune into your intuition a little bit better, which is tough for Virgo, okay, because Virgo, you're an earth sign and you're extremely practical. And sometimes tuning into that spiritual side is a little difficult. This is the year where Neptune says, let's work on that spirituality. Let's strengthen that bond that you have with the universe and with God and your spiritual network that's around you, trying to help guide you and lead you through repetitive thoughts and signs and dreams. Big year where your dream state's going to be increased dramatically this year too, because your angels are around trying to give you answers that you're asking for. All right, so just go with the flow. Go with the flow. If your birthday is from September 11th through the 14th, Pluto, which is the ruling planet for Scorpio, so this is like the main player of the year, is working with you. This is by far the biggest year for you in terms of purging and healing that you probably have seen, I would bank to say almost in your lifetime, where a lot of things have to be let go of. The losses, the death, the grief, the shifting, the transformation, the aspects of yourself, the habits you're ready to let die. This is a year where you shed those layers like a snake that has to get out of its skin, and you move forward into some new things, and massive healing waits for you as a result to that. So let's pull a card, okay? Let's call on Archangel Metatron. He is your angel as a Virgo. He is the angel that comes through, and he cleanses and clears all those chakras to make sure all that negative energy from experiences, life, just walking around in Walmart and just living your life daily. We build up these toxic energies that get stuck in our electromagnetic field and our energy centers, and he is the angel that clears them for us. He is around so strongly for you this year, because this is the year where you're balancing that mind, body, spirit balance, okay? He is going to come through and make sure that your energy center is flowing right, so your life force energy can flow correctly through them. When your life force energy flows correctly, you flow correctly. So call on him if you have any questions whatsoever, or if you have a child that has ADD type symptoms too. He is the angel that helps our gifted indigo children that are out there that are spiritually wise and also sensitive to the point where they can't emotionally handle it at that age. So he's there to help those children. That's one of his main goals as well, to help those special gifted children. So let's call on Metatron and see what his words of wisdom are for you, his Virgos, in 2018. To do it 3 times, I can see through really strongly too. Oh, look at this. It's an Earth one, too. 2 of Earth. Oh, boy. He's telling me you got way too much going on, yo. You got too much going on. Holy smokes, you're working a lot. Working 2 jobs, working 3 jobs, working too much. That's the tough thing with you, Virgo, because you are the sign of work. You incarnated this lifetime as a Virgo to work hard. You are always constantly of service to others. But this is a card that tells us when you've got too much going on, everything gets out of balance. Main thing getting out of balance is your health. By golly, they are telling me this is going to be a year that's tough for you health-wise. Not to like freak you out or anything, but it's all coming from what's going on in here. Okay, this is a card that says don't try to juggle it all. You got too much going on. You need to just play a little bit more, enjoy a little bit more, see the fun in things, and not overthink it so much. This is also a card that says that you may be forced with something where you have to make a decision, and the time is going to come for you to have to make a decision with, maybe it's a job that's causing you to do the overthinking, staying up at night, having acid reflux. Maybe this is the year you let that go because you know it's affecting that mental, physical health. Maybe it's a relationship that's doing that. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's I don't know. You tell me. You tell yourself. And work on that inner landscaping this year, because you know what? Metatron is there to support you. And no matter what, this is the year where you find that balance on that scale. This scale. What the subconscious mind thinks and what the conscious mind does. You're going to find a good happy balance in there this year. So moving forward, I send you all light and love and wish you a happy 2018. Thank you.